Hello my friends and welcome to today's tarot reading. This is a general daily reading for all signs, but the sign that you're here probably means that there is a special message for you, so thank you so much for joining me today. Now today is the 5th of June 2022, it's Sunday, the day of the sun, and today we have Saturn being retrograde in Aquarius until October the 22nd. Now, when Saturn goes retrograde, it gives us the opportunity to oversee what important things that we have in place, such as important documents, important papers, any contracts that you have signed, anything that requires like some kind of weight. So, for example, if there's like some kind of agreement, I'm thinking about the renewal of contracts. So, like, when you renew maybe your subscription to your website or something like that, or maybe looking at long-term contracts between you and maybe somebody's doing some optimization on your website or something, or so you've got people working for you. You've got 4 months basically to oversee how this is, particularly actually with the example of people working for you, to see whether or not that those contracts actually fulfill both parties. So, oh, by the way, I'm really sorry about that. but yeah, like if there's any kind of contracts or anything like that, a mortgage or something like that, business contracts, things that are gonna, as I suggested today, that are gonna tie you down for a while. Just make sure that you review it, and also, are you happy with it? Particularly any contracts that you've made since 2020. If there's anything that's been major in that respect, then that would be, was it right for you? Was it something that adheres to the values of both parties? Was it something that is workable? You can see it working in the near future or in the long term? Have you considered that in the respect of these relationships? So that's something to think about today. Nice Sunday vibes, eh? But otherwise, let's see what the cards have to say about it. I am reading today with the Tarot del Fuego. I'll be clarifying with the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. So let's see what the cards have to say for us today. Dear Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective today? And also thank you to everyone who is deciding to watch this, all of my returning subscribers. You mean the world. Thank you so much. And your donations and your comments and your likes, they really mean so much to me. So thank you. Dear Spirit, what messages would you like to convey to the collective today? Eight of Swords reversed, Ace of Pentacles reversed. We had that a few days ago, the World. The Tower reversed. Interesting, because we had the Tower upright yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I think so. Strength. The Lovers reversed. Queen of Swords, the Five of Pentacles reversed, and we've got the Knight of Wands. Okay, bottom of the deck energy is the Magician. I will take that. Okay, right. So, let me just double check that that's not wonky. Sorry about that. My head, I just head butted the camera just then. Okay, there we go. Right, so essentially, a relationship. And it's interesting how I was saying about reviewing relationships today, and it isn't in the context of like because even then even a marriage or a partnership where you've been living together, that will involve some kind of if you live together, you end up paying bills together, you end up having joint accounts, you end up certain things happen now. People are living like married couples, but they're not married. That's pretty much how it is. They're cohabiting, and that's been happening, for the past 20 years, like quite a lot. So in order if something like that is going to end, and do you know what's really interesting? Oh wow, okay. I definitely actually see contracts breaking, but I also see other contracts being made, almost like contracts that that needed to be broken. They almost expired, and it actually unlocks something, and then and the death of something encourages something new to come in, but it might come in from a space where you're not expecting it. And it's also, I don't think you expect it at all. Yeah, there's a sense of things have come to an end, they've come to a completion. Certain things have also, they've definitely come to an end. You decided not to go with a particular choice. You know, the Lovers is about a choice. It's about the choice you make. Or the choices that we make. So a choice wasn't made here. So maybe the choice not to continue has taken place here. And it takes a lot of strength, but it's almost like that this contract, do you know what I just got? I just got like a mobile phone contract, you know? So like, like a mobile phone contract ties you in for like 2 years now. I remember when it used to be like 1 year, and then it's like now 2 years, sometimes 3 years, because phones are more expensive. And and that's the release of it. The Eight of Swords is the release. It's but the Knight of Wands is that the action is not as fast. Like you thought that it would be faster. Maybe you thought that this thing would be over. I am also getting a relationship. I am getting like the end of a partnership, not so much a marriage or anything like that, but still, as I said, like you may cohabit and you may not have like the official documents of having a marriage, but it still feels like a marriage. And that choice has been made to not go ahead with that partnership. It might be a long-term business contract, but I would feel that more if I saw the Two of Swords rather than the Lovers. But still, sorry, Two of Wands. I did see the Two of Swords earlier when I was shuffling. It's taken a lot of strength to come to this decision, but it's like the end of this cycle. And it's interesting because the first thing I saw was this moth, which is the moth which has the skull on it. So it's about that sense of death. It's almost like it was a poison and it was slow acting. The Tower reverse tells me that things are not over yet. Things are not over. There's still breaking down of contracts to occur. But it's almost like the pain has gone, the isolation has gone, the sense of feeling alone within a relationship has gone. The Queen of Swords here is the ability to look at how the situation has made you more knowledgeable about it, and it's really interesting. I love this Queen of Swords because it's almost like her eyes are here because they can see, and they're kind of giving her divine protection from everything. And I feel like this is both parties. I don't think that this is necessarily... I'm so sorry about that. That this is necessarily about, you... I don't think this is one person or the other. I think this is both of you. And I also think this is both of you as well. In fact, I actually feel like this is more the situation of both of you. It's almost like you're both going through this transformation. And it's interesting how we have the Lovers going to 1, the Magician, so 6 to 1. So it's that idea of flipping it around and transforming it to the idea of 1, but it almost seems like you feel like you're losing out. It's an intense reading, actually, this one, because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana in 10 cards. So that's something that's major shifts, major shifts. And it's a process, my favourite word, a process of transformation. Actually, no, let me have a look at this. Dear Spirit, what messages would you like to convey to us today? Okay, Dear Spirit. that's really interesting. Protection. The moon in Aries. Because there is that sense of self-preservation that I'm getting here. Definitely. It's almost like understanding what values, like what are your values? So you're like, right, and I understand that this thing that I'm in right now does not adhere to my values. It doesn't match with it, so I'm making the choice to move away. And it's almost like you've had to adopt a sense that is not emotional in order to deal with it, you know, particularly with this Ace of Pentacles and with the Queen of Swords. You've gotten over the emotion, like, you know, I feel like you felt isolated. There was this sense of loneliness. There was this sense of, and it's almost like, no, I'm done now. I'm done, and I need to make moves towards my future. And there's still loose ends to be tied up, you know, still things to be done, still things to grow from that situation. It's really interesting because, like, with the Tower reversed, I've seen it's come to me twice in a few readings that I've watched that the Tower reversed is actually the rebuilding of things. But it's, for some reason, it doesn't resonate with me at all. I see other cards as that. Because I was thinking, is that what it means? Does it mean, I mean, I do feel a sense that there will be some rebuilding after it, but almost like the calm after the storm. I almost see like the the Ten of Swords reversed as that rebuilding, because it's and almost the Three of Swords reversed, because you're now in a state where you can actually start to build things. And then if it's also matched with Pentacles, but with the Tower reversed, the Tower hasn't collapsed for me. It seems like there's still work, there's still stuff that needs to be done. So it might be that, like, for example, you've separated from someone, but then there's still all of the stuff. Your stuff is still in the house. Your things are still there. You know, you still, the emotional resonance of how intense it feels is still very much there, even though you physically moved out. And more, it's actually more so that your things are there, and maybe you're still like on the phone bill or whatever, or stuff like that. But it is a little bit deeper than that, because it's the Tower. And the Tower is complete destruction. It means that, you know, it's almost like, you know, when someone doesn't want to let go and there's still those feelings there. But it will change. It is changing. And I think it is in your best interest to make sure that you just protect yourself, because, you know, there's that sense of when you're quite vulnerable, when you're in a vulnerable state, emotional state, people can feed off of that. People can see that. And, you know, people do it with people who are elderly. Like, that's why they're more susceptible to crime and stuff like that, because of their vulnerability. And because it seems to me that there is a sense of vulnerability that's going on, which, I'm not going to lie, you are absolutely, like, you're soldiering it on. It just feels to me that there is this need for protection. In fact, actually, it's not reversed. So, I don't know. It's almost like this attitude of strength and Queen of Swords, this kind of stoic, detached and mature view, which is the world, and the Magician, will allow you to manifest something so strong. Like, you know, in the story of Harry Potter, you know, Lily Potter puts the magic into Harry so that he will be protected, and she does it with her life. So, and he was so vulnerable, so she gave her life for that. So in that respect, if you are able to, like, let go in the respect of any expectation, that there's no expectation, you just give it, it ends up being the most powerful of all. I hope that makes sense, because it's that sense of where you just give it so unconditionally, and you understand that the situation has come to an end, and you just kind of let it go. You just let it go, and you just give the intention of pure love, and you're just like, right, I just wish the best for this person, or I wish the best for this situation. And you know, you just end up making something so beautiful, but for both of you, even though it is so painful. Three of Swords isn't here. It isn't here. But Eight of Swords is, you know, and that's about our own self-afflicted kind of beliefs and how we entrap ourselves. But this sense of poverty will alleviate. It's definitely alleviating. I see the house, the creation of a house. You'll be on your steps towards moving towards a beautiful home for yourself and something that will really fulfill your desires in the way that you want, rather than having to compromise in a way that you can't. You know, there's that thing of where you can compromise to a certain extent, but then other times you can't. Without really challenging your own values, and it's all about being able to be around people who are able to enhance those values rather than challenge them on a consistent basis, making you almost having to protest about who you are. So this is a beautiful life lesson. Beautiful. Some powerful readings recently, my friends. Really interesting. Maybe it's because I'm so tired and Spirit's like, there you go. So whenever I'm tired, Spirit likes to give me really, really intense readings. But anyway, if you did like this video, please do like it. Please do share, subscribe if you haven't done so already. But otherwise, do check out the other videos as well, because they're all timeless. But otherwise, you have a beautiful day, my friends, and thank you for excusing my nail. Bye.